Okay, so we've got a new episode of Legends and Leaders, and today it's great to have Mark here. You're somebody who has been involved in incredible operations and missions defending the United States, which is quite honorable to do. And you've taken those talents and the ability to handle pressure and stress and make key decisions and brought that to the business world, where a lot of that applies as the CEO of Lofted Spirits. And you have been leading one of the fastest growing companies in this category. There's a lot of incredible growth that's happened in this space, and I'm excited to get into your journey and have you here and talk about what you're up to.
Thanks very much, Ben. Appreciate you having me.
So, Mark, how did you get interested in the Army? Why was that a path for you to kind of start? Like, would you just feel very patriotic?
No, I'll say far from that. Look, I was a team sports guy growing up. I played soccer all my life, played football as a young guy until I grew late. So I got beat up in high school and football. So I stuck with soccer, went to college to play soccer, thought nothing but about team sports. And when I saw that was going to end, the RTC folks had recruited athletes in a regular way and had taken a few classes and thought, I'll go do this Army thing for a few years, grow up, and figure out what I want to do in life. Totally different mindset than the commitment and patriotism that young folks sign up today, obviously. For me, it was just another adventure I thought I'd do for a few years and turned out to be the perfect team sport for 26 years.
For 26 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, what did you like most about it? Was it the discipline, the like camaraderie? Just what drew you to want to stay that long?
Uh, Look, it was everything. It was about the team environment that you're in every day. I've been a competitor all my life, and there's all kinds of opportunities to compete, both as an individual but as a team. You're always competing to outperform the other teams around you. Uh, it is a leadership laboratory from day one. Especially as an infantry platoon leader, you're put in position of I'm in charge of 25 to 30 folks day one, most of whom are older than me, at least half of them older than me. So that ability to learn every day, if you're willing to learn and keep your eyes and ears open, it's such a great opportunity to learn leadership. You're changing. Bosses change jobs every year or two, right? So you're always going to have a new boss. You're going to get new positions every 2 years. Your folks around you are leading. So you get to look and learn from everybody around you every day if you're willing to just get all these different incredible experiences, some good, some bad, and carry them with you, and kind of adjust your style as you go through life. And I've been able to do that since day one.
Hmm. Did you have a family that was like a military family? Was that
No, no.
you just
My
the
dad
first
was
one?
a Presbyterian minister. He died early. My mom and dad were divorced. My mom was a hardworking probation officer in the state of Georgia, so came from a family just getting along, getting it done, and very fortunate to have a path come in front of me. Frankly, due to my sports background, that's what got me into Wake Forest University. Gave me the opportunity for that, and then Wake Forest University gave me the further opportunity for the military, and also met my wife at Wake Forest. So I owe a lot to that
A lot
university.
happened there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you were in the army, like, I mean, what skills do you feel like you learned most there that you've kind of brought over now to the world of just business in general? Like, do you think there's a lot that translates over?
Yeah, there definitely is in everything. Any path you take after the military. Uh, Look, for me, again, it's all about team building and building teams, with the critical component being trust and having trust throughout an organization. Uh, I was coached by a number of people when I first got out of the military that there were going to be a few things that were kind of hard to deal with in the commercial world, and there are plenty of them in the military. You all knew the path you were on. You had a
Mm-hmm.
common mission. You didn't have the issues that come up around pay. Everybody knew what we got paid.
Mm,
You weren't trying to get paid more than the other. It wasn't about titles. All of these things that in my mind kind of you have to fight through in the commercial world to build that trust in an organization while everybody's got a little bit of that what's in it for me factor, which is legit. I mean, everybody's trying to take care of their families and do the right thing for themselves and their families. But those are things that you didn't really sense or feel when you were on a team in the military that you've definitely had to adjust to in this world to figure out how do you influence that team and create that trust that you had in those. I mean, I was fortunate to be in a very uh, uh, special operations organization that we were all on board. We knew the importance of what we were doing. I was there for 14 years and in a single organization. So you grew up with the folks in that organization, different from most military organizations where you're bouncing around a bit. And so you created that kind of trust and belief in what we were doing. So trying to carry those things forward into a commercial business, there's a lot of challenges, but that's the goal, is to create something where people are
mm,
proud to come to work every day. They're proud to be a part of what they're doing. They see the goal and where we're trying to take this thing, and they believe in it. And most importantly, to me, they believe that their voice matters. Right? There's an environment of trust where people believe that they can speak up, and that their voice will at least be listened to, whether it's taken that path or not. They know that the leaders in the organization are listening throughout the organization, and you've got to create that, right. Everybody complains about communication in every employee survey I've ever seen, and my push on that always is that communication is a two-way street. I can sit here and talk all day long, but if folks aren't willing to speak up and talk the issues that are really occurring that impact the business every day, you're not going to be successful. So trying to create that kind of environment is probably
right.
what's been most important to me. I was lucky enough to be in that type of environment in a military organization, and trying to carry it forward.
Mhm. Mark, how did you become the CEO of Lofted Spirits? What made you interested in the whiskey alcohol space? Like that's very different from the army.
Yeah. So we drank whiskey in the army.
Okay.
You can't carry around a 12 pack of beer, but you can carry around a flask. So it was the preferred drink of choice in a lot of environments where you wouldn't expect to have anything. Um, I didn't know anything about spirits industry. I ran around for 9 years after getting out of the military, doing mostly consulting work. I worked for a private equity guy for 2 years, learned how to make money. In the military, you know how to spend money. You don't know how to make money. So that was a great learner for me for 2 years, P&L 101 from a private equity firm. And then uh, joined a partner of mine from the military, a Navy SEAL, who we commanded side by side. Uh, and we started a business together, a consulting firm. And so I was running around the world, doing Africa, the Middle East, helping corporates operate better. And it was a great business. We were growing it. We were paying ourselves well. We were employing a number of our former special operations teammates. And an individual named John Mack, who used to be head of Morgan Stanley, has he became a great friend and mentor to me after I got out of the military. I've known him for about 10 years. John was asked to be on the board of this company. And John knew our founder from years back. Him and Peter Lofton had done business together as far as John loaning him money for some of his earlier entrepreneur initiatives that Pete built. And uh, John was asked to be on the board, and he thought I knew something about whiskey. So he asked me to check out this company. So I did, learned the company, saw what was going on. Through that whole process, both John and I wound up on the board of the company. And then, look, the guy who started this thing, good on him. My predecessor built this amazing place, got the business going. Kind of him and Peter often didn't get along very well, and he had kind of made it about himself more than the team. And John Mack actually called Pete Lofton and said, "You ought to have a leader run that company. You need Erwin in there." Next day, I had an offer letter and looked at my wife, and she had just stopped working for the first time ever. And I thought, hadn't been to Kentucky much, but I know the opportunity this company has. And Kentucky sounds a little better than Nigeria and Abu Dhabi. So here we go. We moved to Kentucky 6.5 years ago, and it's been an amazing team building experience and growing a company that's been one of the highlights of my life. I mean, I've already had this job. Remember, in the military, you're changing jobs a lot. And even though I was in one organization, I changed jobs multiple times throughout that organization. This is the longest I've ever held a job for 6+ years. So it's been quite a ride. We're having fun with it. And I can't imagine being in a better spot.
Mhm. What was the company like when you got involved, Mark? How big was it? What was even happening at that point in time?
It was a small company. The company had just launched the private brand. So, the core business here is making spirits for others. That's what we do. That's the core business. We are the largest custom distiller in Kentucky. We make custom whiskey where you can go to some others and buy a contract, and some people are doing this on a smaller scale now. But
Mhm.
Bardstown, when I took over, was literally the leader and still is the leader in custom uh, whiskey making. We make a lot of other brands. We make some extra whiskey for some of the big guys. We make some whiskey that investors use as a commodity. That's our core business that allows us to invest to grow our brands. So when I came in, we had that business going strong. It was sold out, and we had just launched our Bardstown Bourbon Company branded products. So we were off on a great start. Uh, the the business was ready to grow. Uh, 3 months after being plugged in, our founder passed away.
Mhm.
So the business wound up in a spot where it was ready for investment for growth. And we had a family who was looking for money to come back that way. So I got permission through the estate to go look for another partner. And we brought in a private equity firm who's been perfect long-term investors thinking nothing about how can we help this company grow, and it's paid off ever since. We purchased our second distillery, so Green River Distillery we bought in July of 22 after partnering with PPC in February of 22. uh, we've invested in the business in a number of ways, primarily focused on helping our custom clients and truly being the only one-stop shop for our clients. So we'll make your whiskey, we'll help you develop your whiskey. Some people come in with a great marketing idea, but they don't know what they want their whiskey to look like. So we'll help them develop their product. We'll make their product. We'll store it from them for them, and then we've got this amazing uh, world class bottling facility that we created to finish the product for them and get it ready to go to market. And we keep coming up with new ways to help our custom clients, which is all the core business that's allowed us to invest to
Mhm.
grow these two great brands. So now we've got two of the fastest growing brands in America when American whiskey is slowing down. Had a bit of a slowdown. It's
Mhm.
for the first time in years and years and years, going in a negative direction, and our two products are growing like crazy. So we're doing the right things and investing behind the right opportunities.
Mhm. So I'd love to just talk about some of like the brands you guys have been building. You have Green River Whiskey, and you've got Bardstown Bourbon, are those two. And I mean, what does it take to make a unique, good tasting or whiskey, good tasting bourbon? Like, how does that get done? How do you go from like, what does the time frame even look like, and how do you kind of market these, ideas?
So, look, we've got two completely different products. If you come to our facilities,
Yeah.
you see it yourself, right? I mean, Bardstown Bourbon is modern, innovative, transparent, everything about it, collaborative.
Hmm.
in the way we develop our products. Uh, we are we are being innovative every day. We're collaborative not only in our partnerships but in the way we look for other things and other opportunities. You know, we finish whiskey in cognac barrels, in beer barrels, in wine barrels. We're doing all kinds of unique and innovative things on the Bardstown side. Green River is the history of bourbon. Green River is the 10th oldest distillery in Kentucky. So we've got this two very interesting opportunities, and it works for our custom clients as well because some people love the all the glass and modern structure here at Bardstown, and this is where they'd like to make their whiskey. Others love the old fashioned look of more of what you would expect from a Kentucky distillery, frankly, in Owensboro with our Green River products. So some choose to make their whiskey there. But our two brands are growing because we're doing the right things behind it.
Hmm.
You know, a lot of people are retracting a bit. A lot of people are reducing their sales forces. A lot of people are reducing their marketing dollars. We're going exactly the opposite because we can, right? And we believe in the two products we have and the two brands that we have. So we're investing in our sales force. We've grown our sales force immensely over the last 2 years, professionalized it in every way with training and all the right skill sets in place. We've uh, we've invested heavily in marketing. We've got a killer professional marketing team. We've had some help from outside agencies where we need it. And we're investing in things that are working, right? Some of our national partnerships have turned out to be fabulous hits for us. And then we've just had some great opportunities. I don't know if you happen to catch the 60 Minutes piece on our Cathedral series, but it's just things like that that are priceless opportunities because of the innovation and the things that are going on here that have enabled us to grow and outpace the industry in a significant way.
So even with all these innovations, you still wanted to work again with the Army. Why did you form this partnership? How's the Army partnership been going?
Man, thanks for asking about that. I was real proud of that. That's actually the Army came to me. So
Oh, really?
the Public Affairs Office reached out last fall and said, you know, I know some senior level people in the Army. I quit early. I quit in 2010, and some of my mates are still going at it. So they're now at senior levels, obviously. And somebody from the Public Affairs Office rang me up and said, "Can you make a whiskey for us for our 250th?" I said, "I sure can. Have you talked to the lawyers?" The next day, they called me back and said, "Oh, we can't do it."
Nah.
Flash forward a few months, the Sergeant Major of the Army, who is a friend of mine from my special operations days, we were in the same unit together for years. Now the senior enlisted in the Army. He he sent me a text and said, "How's that whiskey project coming?" I'm like, "Dude, it died on your end a long time ago." The next day, it was back on. So I give full credit there to the senior leadership of the Army for getting that thing going. But we've been real proud of it. It's you know, tons of people have been doing things around the 250th, but to have an official licensed product of the United States Army is something that we're real proud of. Proceeds, part of the proceeds go back to the morale, welfare, and recreational funds that help soldiers and their families' lives get better. So we're proud of that, and it's turned out to be a great product. We've sold way more than we thought we were initially going to sell, and we're continuing to do that this fall with a private label opportunity that we're doing for free, you know, online through our website. So that's been a fun project for me. We did a little hype video around it. I got to go back and hang out with some soldiers and some retired guys jumping out of airplanes and all kinds of fun stuff. So
That's awesome.
great project.
Yeah. So Mark, what do you want to do now? What are some of the big goals you're focusing on for the company?
So we're focused. We are focused, and our main goal is to ride out the storm. Right now, there's a lot going on in our industry. There's a lot of negative chatter out there about spirits are down, and it's true. Spirits are down comparatively. Uh, I'm bullish on on the market. I believe that we'll get back to moderate growth is where we'll wind up. The craziness of COVID was something unique, but we'll get back to moderate growth. Uh, I think there's all these different discussions about the negative side of it, but I'm confident in where we're going. So we had a lot of competition come on to try to copy our business model. That's going to sort itself out. Unfortunately, some of them are going to go away. There are a few of them already have. There'll be more going away. But our focus is to stay laser focused on helping our custom clients put out the best products they can, continue making great quality whiskey, and quality customer service for that whole piece of the business, because that's what enables us to invest behind the two brands. We've come up with a number of innovative ways to help our custom clients through our bottling facility. The market's changing. People are talking about smaller package sizes, so we're going to develop. We're about to invest in a small packaging line in our bottling facility. We've come up with an alternating proprietorship that allows our bottling customers to get a craft tax instead of a much higher tax. So again, continuing ways to look to help our custom partners while we stay committed to growing these two great brands. They're both about to break into the top 10 category of their price tier, and we're gonna keep growing them. We're excited to be a internationally recognized spirits company, and we've got two great brands that are leading us down that path.
That's awesome. Mark, that was all the questions that I had. I appreciate you taking the time and doing this. I think it's fascinating how you've taken this background in a very different area, translated it over to the business world and had great success in the business space. But then you kind of came back to your roots, which is nice that you care a lot about about the Army experience and supporting the Army in general. And it's nice to hear about the success of that collaboration that you did as well. But I just look forward to what you're going to do next, and especially the different brands you build out in this category. I think that that's a great route for you guys to go, and I think there's a lot more to come here. So thanks for coming on and doing this.
Thanks, Ben. I appreciate it.